Hi YouTube, welcome back. Today we're going to do something totally different. Stay tuned. Today I'm going to try my first fermentation. I have a lot of hot peppers with our recent freeze. Yeah, freeze, not frost, freeze. I had to harvest all of my peppers, so I've got a bunch that I'm going to do a couple different things for. Some of them are green and waiting for them to ripen, but the ones that are ripe or almost ripe or partially ripe, I need to do something with. So, going to be fermenting. Now, I looked a lot of stuff up on YouTube, on the internet, and there's some differing opinions. Go figure. So I'm going to try to copy one website. I will link it down below. And it is for actually making a hot sauce after the peppers ferment. But I'm going to try and fill this jar, which is clean and dried. The website that I'm following says don't use chlorinated water, or if you do have chlorinated water, to let it sit for an hour. So I have my bowl of water sitting while I'm going to mess with the peppers. For weight, I found a little candle holder that just fits inside a wide mouth jar. There's a little bit of space there, more than a fermenting weight would be, but use what you got when you need it. So I grabbed a sweet pepper. It's a Jimmy Nardello. It was still green. And I added that to it. Maybe add a little bit of sweetness to the sauce. It's all going to be blended in the end, so complexity of flavors. It's usually a good thing. I also added garlic. I put in 7 really small cloves. And now it's just time for the brine. Peppers and our water. It's 1 quart of water. And you do not want to use iodized salt, kosher salt, sea salt, canning salt. It's all good. Right, 2 tablespoons. And then you want to just dissolve the salt. So you keep stirring until it's clear. Now, obviously this is 1 quart of water, and this is a quart jar. So we're not going to use all of this, but that's the ratio for the salt. I wasn't sure how much water I would need, so it's an extra tablespoon of salt. Oh well. Okay. We're all dissolved. Now we're going to try and pour from the big bowl into the little jar. Canning funnel is great for this job. Now, did you notice how the peppers came up? Because they want to float. That's why we need a weight to hold them down. First, we're going to debubble. A debubbling tool is great for this because air is your enemy when you are fermenting. If you have any peppers that come up and hit the air, that could ruin the whole batch. So you got to get them out quickly. So this is something we're going to check every day. And by the time you're seeing this, it'll be done because this is going to be every day until it's done. Alright. I think we've got all the bubbles out. like I said, this was a candle holder. It's just all glass, candle holder, washed, sterilized, all that. You can buy fermenting weights. You can make one. You could use a baggie full of water. Anything to hold it down. If you're doing it in a bowl, you could use a plate. You just want to hold the peppers underneath the brine. Everything is definitely submerged. So this little seed here. Now we're going to leave it. This could take a week. It could take 2 weeks. It all depends on the heat and humidity in your house. Now, because I'm using a sealed lid and not a fancy thing that lets the air out by itself, we're going to have to debubble or depressurize. We have to let the air out every day. But for now, it's good to wait. We'll be back tomorrow. Day 2. It looks so pretty in the jar. I don't see any bubbles yet, but I do see a floater. So I'm going to pull that out. Day 3. The water is getting a little cloudy, but we do have some bubbles. And I just dislodged a pepper up to the top. That wasn't floating before. I think this is the day 4 update. I looked up the cloudy brine and it's supposed to do that. It says it's a sign that the fermentation is working. Let's see if I can dislodge some bubbles. Oop, there's some bubbles. Oop. Can see bubbles inside that one ring there. Focus on that spot. There it goes. Yeah. Right, but today's day 6, and the other day after I filmed, I went to pull a floating pepper out, and I knocked a couple other loose that started floating, so I was trying to just reposition the weight to hold everything back down. I had a little trouble with the weight. I moved it to be able, I kind of turned it to be able to like pull it out and reset it down, and I couldn't get it out, and then that let like half the peppers come up and I couldn't fix it. So it's still in the jar, down lower in the jar. So I took a plastic baggie and I filled it with some salt water in case it leaks, and used that as my new weight with the old one in there still too. Don't know why, don't know what else to do about it, but that was my quick solution, was to just put something else on top. But it seems to be working. I mean, that is like a cheap way to have a weight. We're still bubbling. Let's see if I can get some bubbles without the glare. Maybe. Oh, there's some going. All right. So we still have bubbles. I need to burp it, and I don't know. I think some of the bubbles are getting trapped under the plastic bag because of the nature of the plastic bag. So I am going to lift the bag out, and then so the bubbles can escape, and then put the bag right back in. But that's day 6. Day 9. Nothing's really changed for days 7, 8, or 9. We still have bubbles. It smells really good. Oh, there was a bubble. I don't know if you saw it, but see, there's like a bubble hanging out there, bubbles there. So I mean, it's still bubbling. Nothing vigorous. just slow, steady bubble. It did start to leak some of the fluid out of the top of the jar, but just a little bit. That's all. Alright, this took a really long time, so I stopped filming it every day. This is day 17. Now, there's still a little bit of bubbles, but not a whole lot. First, we're going to taste some. Now, these are Serrano pepper. Well, no, they're mixed. There's Serranos, and there's yellow hots, and a sweet pepper. Maybe I should go for the yellow. It's more like a jalapeno. First, we're going to taste it. Now, it has smelled really good this whole time. It still smells good. I think we're done with our little baggy weight. Alright, I see a yellow one, which I definitely know what the yellow one is, so we're going to get that one. It was like mush. A little hot. Yeah, the inside's like mush, but the skin is still like the skin. If you just want fermented peppers just to have around, I wouldn't let them go this long. But this is my first chance. They said it's ready when the bubbles stop. I think I should have been tasting it sooner. But the texture doesn't really matter for this project because I'm going to puree it into a sauce anyway. But keep that in mind. Start checking your texture way sooner than 17 days, even in a chilly room. That's why I let it go so long anyway, because the colder temperatures will make it take longer. And there were still a lot of bubbles. And it took a while for the bubbles to really get going. So I wasn't sure, well, I just wasn't sure of anything because I never did it before. But I'm pretty sure we are good to go. Could have stopped it a few days ago. But there were still bubbles. There's still bubbles now. Just, it's definitely slowed way down. To make sauce, it's very easy. But I think I should move the camera so you can see what I'm doing. First thing you need to do is drain it, but don't lose all that fermenting liquid. You want to hold on to that. So strain it into a bowl or something. Now that other glass weight is still in here, so I gotta fish all that out. I'm not going to take all the seeds. I'm not worried about that. We're going to puree. You can use a blender if you don't have one of these. Now, the reason that I pureed it in a measuring cup is, well, not only is it a glass measuring cup, so you can put the immersion blender in there just fine, but you need to measure how much of the pepper mash that you have. And this is just a smidge over 1 cup. The recipe that I'm following says to use 1/3 of the measurement of your pepper mash. So since this is about a cup, that would be 1/3 of a cup of vinegar and 1/3 of a cup of the fermenting liquid. So this is just regular white vinegar, 1/3 cup. Let it go just a splash over because it is just slightly more than a cup. reserved liquid. And then we puree again. Not bad. It's not quite as a complex flavor that I'd hoped for. Maybe more variety next year. Because, well, this is it for my fresh peppers this year. So next year, maybe more variety of different peppers. Maybe like some, you know what? I think it needs more garlic. I think more garlic. Maybe some onions. Food for thought. But it is a good sauce. It's got some spice to it. Now, I didn't have any cayennes left, so there's no cayennes in there. It's just serranos, yellow pencil hots, and one large sweet pepper. So yeah, next year, more variety, more garlic, maybe some onion. But it's good. Now we're going to jar it up. I've chosen a jar with a plastic lid. I don't have like a bottle with a reusable lid in it. Spatula. Ta-da! And there you have it. It's all done. It's very simple. Now this will keep in the refrigerator for several months. You don't want to leave it on the counter. It is a refrigerator type thing. In order to make it shelf stable to put it on a counter, you'd have to basically kill all the good bacteria that you just spent a couple weeks growing in a jar. So it's going to stay in the fridge, and this will last me probably all winter anyway, because no one else really likes hot sauce. But for a basic simple sauce, this is great. You can add to it on your own, whatever you like to put in your sauce. But this is a very basic, easy recipe. It took a lot of time because of the fermenting process, but it didn't take a lot of effort, which is great. So I will definitely be doing more next year. Too bad I can't do it this year, but I will be doing more next year. So thanks for coming along with me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you try some fermented food as well. So remember, life's an adventure. Thanks for joining me in mine. God bless.